Hi, this is Bednarz, analyst with Ubika Research Small Cap Power. Today we have with us Goliath Resources, listed on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the ticker symbol GOT. Before I start, here is the forward-looking statement and legal disclaimer. Goliath is a project generator with a portfolio of 2 properties in the prolific Golden Triangle region of northwestern British Columbia. The 2 properties, GOLDOIGGER and Lucky Strike, have returned widespread mineralization of gold, silver, and copper from outcropping bedrock at surface due to receding glaciers and permanent snowpack melting. With us today is Roger Rosmus. Roger has over 25 years capital markets experience and is the president and co-founder of Aberdeen Gold Advisory Services. The Golden Triangle is known for its rich and diverse geology and has the potential to host several types of the world's most profitable deposits, including high-grade gold and silver veins, large-scale porphyries, and volcanic massive sulfides. To date, more than 130 million ounces of gold, 800 million ounces of silver, and 440 billion pounds of copper have been discovered in the region. Roger, thank you for being here with us today. Could you tell us a little bit more about the management team and the diverse experiences?
Sure, Chris. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so essentially my background in finance for over 25 years in the public and private sectors. I've assembled a team of successful entrepreneurs, businessmen that have been extremely successful in the resource space in Canada and Africa, and who have taken companies to production or near-term production or PEA type of scenarios. I'm not a geologist, and I rely on my team to provide me with their thoughts and direction as to next best steps to be taken out in the field.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your flagship GOLDOIGGER property? How close is your property to the Golden Triangle red line? What surrounding properties are by this red line, and can you discuss the discoveries?
Sure. Well, we're just southeast of Stewart, BC, and north of Antioch, which is a historical, fairly large mining camp. And the red line itself actually cuts right through our GOLDOIGGER property. And for the listeners and viewers, the significance of the red line is that all the major deposits have been found within 2 kilometers of either side of this red line. And the red line is essentially comprised of 2 packages of rocks, the contact point between the Hazelton Volcanics and the Stahina Group, and which makes this really exciting for us. The fact that we are situated, obviously, and then right next door to the Homestake Ridge deposit with about 1.3 million ounces of gold, grading at about 7.41 grams per ton gold equivalent. And then right next door is obviously the Dolly Varden silver mine. We like the fact we do have close to some infrastructure about 7 kilometers to the west of the Dolly Varden silver access road, which takes to Alice Arm, where we have access to the sea and tidewater. And we are going to be going back there this year. You might want to click to the next slide. We can show some of the results, the structures. What we have found at our GOLDOIGGER property is multiple northwest, southeast trending fault structures, mineralized, highly mineralized, again, over within a 4 square kilometer area. It's high grade polymetallic gold zone, where we have some of these structures going for over 1.5 kilometers long. The outcrop that we found last year, we have 800 meters of vertical relief up one side of the mountain, and actually goes over to the other side. We can trace it with a helicopter for another 800 meters or so. And so the contact between those 2 endpoints is about a kilometer. So if you do the back of the envelope, some calculations, I mean, that's a lot of tonnage or potential tonnage. We do know it's up to 40 meters wide. We did take a channel cut that ran, almost 5.4 grams gold, 115 grams silver, a little bit of copper, zinc at 0.28%, and then lead about 1.1. This is kind of a quick what the stuff looks like. Obviously, it's been cut and polished, but it's it's a massive sulfide with with arsenopyrite, sphalerite, and galena, just chock-a-block full of it. And the really exciting part is about these structures is think about these massive sulfide, you've got these structures, and then you've got the wall rock, the non-sexy looking material. That actually also has gold in it as well, silver, copper, zinc, and lead is also. Because the channel cut that we took started mineralization just over 2 grams gold, finished in just over 1.5 grams gold. And the key point or the key takeaway here is just let's call it the sexy looking rock is mineralized as well, and you can build tonnage fairly quickly. So this was all discovered last year on about a 2.5 day program with 3 prospector geologists. They only mapped and sampled literally, a tip of the iceberg, maybe 10-20% of what's here, and we think there's a lot more to be discovered coming up for our 2020 program. So the idea, what I'd like to see is at the end of the program this year, is we come out with a let's call it obviously non-compliant potential inferred resource, where we're going to go and channel cut the discovery outcrop sort of every 50 or 100 meters and get a really good representation of the distribution of the mineralization. So when we come out of it at the end of the season, we can say, okay, we know it's 800 by 800. We know there's a kilometer between the mountains, one side of the mountain to the other. And let's say we take an average width of, let's say it's 3-4 meters wide, and we're in grades of whatever, we come out as an average grade coming out. So that, I think the shareholders, investors will be enticed to continue supporting and coming and funding the company. And so we've got the slide here. We've got, even that channel cut, like 3.4 meters of that was almost 13 grams gold, almost 300 grams silver, a little bit of copper, 0.58 zinc, and 2.4% lead. So we hope to have this drill ready for 2021.
Thank you. What about Lucky Strike? Can you give us an update on this property?
Sure. Lucky Strike basically is just north of Terrace, BC. We were successful in drilling over 1,700 meters last year in a very large porphyry system. All 3 holes did have, sulfide mineralization from surface to the bottom of all 3 holes. They all, unfortunately, we didn't have like the huge intercepts that we thought we were going to have, but we did prove mineralization at near surface of, silver, gold, copper, and moly. So the plan currently is to go back and do a detailed soil grid, some geochem work, and some additional mapping with the hopes of coming up with some good targets for 2021 to be drilling. So we just, we know what's there, we know it's big, and next time we punch some holes into this area, hopefully we'll drill into the ore zone, where we'll, hopefully we'll see higher grade type material and longer intercepts. And just a quick point out that the reason why we went here initially is by the picture you can see these little orange fingerlings. That's Placer Creek. That's Lorne Creek. It is the most prolific placer creek in the entire district. Produced over 13,000 troy ounces with nuggets up to 1.5 ounces. And we believe our porphyry system is somehow related, or one of the sources, or is the source of that placer gold that's been taken from this creek.
Thank you. And can you walk us through your cap table and any upcoming financings?
Sure, yeah. Well, we recently completed a 15-to-1 consolidation as effective as of the 2nd of March this year. And so now we just have over 8 million shares issued, outstanding. Management team, we've got just around 15% of the company ownership. And last year, just to let people know as far as liquidity and so on, we've done a good job. We've got a great following of folks that have been following the story since inception 2017. For example, we traded about 170 million shares last year, which I think we turned over the float, my guess, roughly three plus times. The year before, 2018, we traded, I guess, about 80 million shares. Again, turned the float over at least a couple times. So, for investors that are looking for interesting stories that has liquidity, it's not going to be like a one-way ticket. you can check in, but you can't check out type of thing. Certainly that's not the story with Goliath. Lots of liquidity, even post our consolidation. We're trading at a pretty good number. If you take into account for the 15-to-1, you take what we've traded per day. It's actually, we're actually having decent volume considering at this point. You touched on the financing. We are currently funding, which we announced, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. So any credit investors that want to reach out, they can, as well as folks that maybe aren't accredited but do own shares and want to participate. There is availability to them through one of the requirements, or with the TSX-V. So I would suggest people want to reach out and speak to me or send me an email.
Thank you, Roger, and thank you for being with us here today. And just quick, one more time, how can investors find out more information about Goliath Resources?
Okay, yeah. Well, obviously the webpage, GoliathResources.com. We've got our presentation is there. We have links to our YouTube channel, which I would recommend to most folks to go and look at, because visually, pictures 1,000 words, and even for the layman doing due diligence. Again, I'm not a geo, but the videos, it says it all, and it's very exciting stuff. And my phone number, 416-488-2887, extension 222, or email Roger at GoliathResources.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.